One. Welcome back to week 3 of the NFL Pick Ems pod presented by the Chippers Podcast Network. It's me, Kirby Stancil, with Riley Northover and Nicholas Jones back at it again. I don't know where my sheet went. Probably should have grabbed that, but what, Riley, you went 13-3 last week in win-loss. And Nicholas won the week at 10-6.
Yeah.
Against the spread? Yeah. Riley, you only won 9-7. I went 7-9. Not my best. Not my best performance, but oh well. So anyways, we'll just go ahead and get right into it because Nicholas is in sort of a time crunch. Dolphins versus Jags to start off the week. This is a prime Thursday night game. Really awesome. So Jags are favored by 3. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it's gonna be the Gardner Minshew game, and we might see a little bit of Tua towards like the fourth quarter whenever they're getting blown out.
You gonna go next?
Yeah,
I'll go ahead.
Either one of you.
Yeah, I'm taking the Jags to win, but I'm going to call that Fitzpatrick has one of his bullshit good performance games and that they're going to cover.
You think they're covering +3, so you think it'll be just like a really tight game?
Yeah, I think it's going to be close, but I think Minshew and company are ultimately going to pull this one out.
Interesting. Riley?
I'm going to roll in the same boat. It's kind of hard whenever they put up a ton of points against two average to above average defenses. So I'm going to roll with the Jags. Minshew's going to have a pretty good game. I think it'll be pretty close, but they're going to win in cover still.
I mean, the Jags have just been lighting it up on offense, at least, and they play like relatively good offenses. So like their defense isn't that great, but the Dolphins' offense absolutely sucks. And they have Byron Jones out as well. Also a little bit of a problem, just like keep a tab on it. Josh Lambo, the kicker, he's going to be out for the game for the Jags.
Yeah.
So just a little bit of a concern there. Wait, who'd you say, Riley? Jags -3?
Yep, Jags winning and covering.
Okay. All right. Next game is the Houston Texans going on the road facing another tough AFC team. It's the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh's favored by 4. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. I think this is the game that Bill O'Brien gets fired after. I think they're gonna move to 0-3, and it's not even gonna be close. Steelers by 4, easy. Big Ben's looked really good. I just don't think it's good for the Texans at all.
No chance at all. The Texans are going in there and they're stealing a win. And it's not going to be that close either. I think Bill O'Brien's going to have his best game of the season because he knows the seat's getting hot. Deshaun, they're going to put some points here and there. I mean, they played 2 good teams. Their record really doesn't mean anything. They played the Chiefs and the Ravens.
The Ravens, yeah.
So how much can you really trust that record? They held up okay. Not great. They held up okay. The Steelers, who they beat? The Giants and the Broncos?
Yes.
No chance. Texans win and cover.
Yeah, I got to go with Kirby here easily. I got Steelers winning and covering. I'm surprised that they're only favored by 4. This game is not going to be anywhere close to that. I don't think Bill O'Brien's going to get fired. I think we're in the same boat as Dan Quinn, where he just kind of has the keys until proven otherwise. But yeah, Steelers winning and covering. Texans are going to get their ass handed to them.
You're going to be wrong.
This Texans team is like they're not even putting up that much of a fight against the good teams. I think it's
that's where I
really bad. I mean, he might not get fired, but yeah.
Yeah, they just haven't even been competitive there, so I don't see it.
They've been relatively competitive.
No, they haven't.
No,
they
they
really haven't.
I've been getting both of the games on CBS, and anytime that I like switch over to the Texans game, like I would rather watch the Panthers versus Bucks or Panthers versus Raiders. Like it's not entertaining whatsoever. The Texans they're just not very fun. Like they applied some pressure to Lamar last week, but still it's not good for the Texans. So Riley is going against us on that one. This one it's kind of an interesting game. Titans traveling to Minnesota. Minnesota is favored by 2.5. Or no, the Titans are favored by 2.
They're favored. Oh, I was about to say. I was like, what?
Yeah. So if one of you want to take it.
Yeah, I can go ahead and go first. I think Titans are easy on this one. The Vikings are a fraud. They are frauds. To all the fans listening, they are no good. This week I talked to a Vikings fan, and he was telling me that it was not very fun to watch this Vikings team. He says they're not very good. And I'm going to go ahead and agree with him. This Viking team, I mean, they got blown out by the Packers. They got blown out by the damn Colts, who lost the Jags. This game's not going to be close.
Yeah, I'll go next. I'm in the same boat as you, Riley. I'm very surprised again at this line being at only 2.5. You know, they just got gashed by Aaron Jones. I think he had 2 touchdowns, 160 combined yards. He took a shit on him. So I imagine Derrick Henry's going to eat. Hell, I bet Ryan Tannehill's going to get on the action. He's going to eat too. So, yeah, Tennessee's going to win this, and they're easily going to cover that 2.5 line.
I wholeheartedly disagree. This is the exact game that Kirk Cousins wins. He puts up like a shitty game last week, and then this week he's going to come out firing. He's probably like under a lot of pressure right now because I think his contract's a little I think he might be in the last year of his contract. Yes, I see Nicholas.
It's all guaranteed. Smiling. Who cares? He made $80 million already.
Because he needs the next contract. So he needs these.
No, he doesn't.
He needs it. Look, he can take all the money that he wants, but he needs football in his life, and he's going to be a quarterback for the next 6 years. So he's going to be a starting quarterback in this league.
He's on the books for 2021 and 2022.
Oh, jeez.
You can't cut him those years either because his dead cap would be $41 million for 2021 and $10 million for 2022.
Okay. All right. Well, still, this is the exact game that Kirk Cousins wins.
No, it's not. He just doesn't care anymore. He doesn't have any reason to
stinks.
No,
he's not good.
This is the exact game. Like, you guys have not learned anything from the past, decade of Kirk Cousins, where this is, where he comes out and shines. Also, a lot of injuries for the Titans. Johnny Smith questionable. A.J. Brown questionable. 2 of their DBs, Malcolm Butler and Chris Jackson, also questionable. And the Vikings don't really have that many injuries. They don't. It's going to be a war of attrition.
They didn't have any war of attrition.
I'm not basing this game off of anything outside of it all comes down to Kirk Cousins. And the Titans are 2-0, right?
He's terrible. He's not good.
The Titans are 2-0, right?
Yeah. Yeah, they defeated
They're due for a loss. They're due for a loss.
They beat the Jags and the Broncos.
Yeah, they're due for a loss. So
not against the Vikings though.
Okay. All right. I feel like we covered that pretty well. Next game, if somebody else take this, Bears versus Falcons. Falcons favored by 3 at Atlanta.
Nicholas, want to start this one? Nicholas?
Yeah, let me start. So I don't even want to get into the debacle that took place this past Sunday. That you could do a whole video segment on that. So the Bears, they just beat what? They beat the Giants, and then who did they beat week 1? The Lions, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, so their 2 wins, that's not exactly a strong 2-0. They're still 2-0 regardless, but not the strongest 2-0 record. The Falcons, they've proven they can score. We know they can score. That the offense isn't a point of concern. The defense, the defense is dog shit. It's been dog shit. It's probably gonna stay dog shit. Um, with that being said, I'm going to take the Bears and I'm going to take them to cover because no 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 yeah, I'll take the Bears. I'll take them to cover because this Falcons team is not to be trusted until they get a win. I'm not going to bet on the Falcons winning until I see them get a win.
What was the line? Did you say, Kirby?
Falcons -3.
The Falcons are favored by 3.
Yes, Falcons are favored by 3.
Okay. Yeah. Just diving a little bit last week, I think the Cowboys obviously stole a win from the Falcons. I think that going into this week, Dan Quinn is probably more pissed than he's ever been, and he's going to be working hard in practice, work on execution. I'm going to go ahead and say it. I think the Falcons are going to win this game pretty handily by like at least a touchdown. I think they're going to shut down an elite quarterback in Mitchell Trubisky. And there's not a whole lot to say here. I think Dan Quinn's going to rally the troops, and
There's a whole lot to say. There's a ton to say.
He's rallying the troops.
I'm taking Atlanta -3. I like them with spreads. Yeah, I don't really have much to say. It's a bad offense in Chicago. So it's going to be our first time actually facing a bad offense. Hopefully it pans out as a bad offense. And I'm just taking the Falcons.
There's a big drop off in talent in terms of offensive talent from the Seahawks, the Cowboys to where we're at right here. And Allen Robinson's good, but I mean that's really about it. I think the Falcons are going to win this one, and you're going to be surprised.
I hope I am. I really hope I am.
Run roughshod on us somehow. Like it's going to be his one good game of the season. Okay, all right, whatever. Moving on. Patriots favored at home by 5.5 points against the Las Vegas Raiders. Raiders came out last week with a pretty big win against the Saints in New Orleans. Obviously, that probably would have been different had there been actual fans. I think this is going to be a big blow-off week for the Raiders. It's like, they got their big win. They're 2-0. I think it's time for them to lose. I don't think they enter into week 3-0. Patriots just coming off of a strong game against the Seahawks. Obviously, that defense isn't neither of those teams' defenses are very good, but it's time for Derek Carr to have a bad game. We're at that point in the season where it's time for guys to start pulling out their usual tropes that they do, and I think it's time for Derek Carr to really, really have that 150-yard, 2-interception game. So I'm taking the Patriots. Also, just a big coaching matchup in Belichick versus Gruden. Belichick wins that easily. Pats -5.5.
You love these week 3 tropes of Kirk Cousins having his Kirk Cousins game and Derek Carr having his Derek Carr game. I think it's a little early for that. I think the Patriots are going to win, but they're not going to cover. I think the Raiders are going to keep it close. I think both teams played really well. I mean, the Patriots, they almost beat the Seahawks. They're literally at, a yard or two away from beating them on the road. Cam's been a lot better than advertised as of yet so far this season. It's gonna be close, but I think the Patriots are gonna pull it out. I think Derek Carr is still a fraud. I don't think he's very good at all, but we'll just see how that kind of progresses throughout the season.
Also, lots of injuries, or at least impactful injuries for Las Vegas. You have Trent Brown, who is questionable. Richie Incognito, he just got moved to the IR. and Jonathan Abram is questionable as well. I think he went out for a little bit in the Saints game. I mean, if you get Cam Jordan, Sheldon Rankin, all those guys on the New Orleans front seven just starting to rush Carr, like it's not gonna pan out well for him.
Yeah, I'm taking New England. I'm looking at VI consensus on Vegas Insiders, and it has it at Pats -6, so not really a big change from -5. I'm picking the Pats to win and cover. The Patriots defense is still pretty suspect, though. This definitely isn't the Pats defense of old. They don't have Donta Hightower there in the middle after he opted out. They have Juwan Bentley there. So Belichick kind of is hinging a lot on a 24-year-old playing middle linebacker. Cam, if he clicks in passing like he did against Seattle, I think this could definitely become a runaway game. Cam looked fantastic. You got to imagine there's some regret down there in Carolina after paying for essentially a season of Kyle Allen. So I think the Pats are going to win this. I think they're going to cover. I'm having fun watching Cam. Cam's balling out. I love seeing him on the goal line in those jumbo formations where he gets to run behind the guard and just power it in there. I think they have a pretty fun team to watch now that Brady is gone. So yeah, I think Cam is going to have a pretty good game.
I don't know if Cam's going to have like a really good game. I still don't really buy him as the New England quarterback.
I don't know.
I don't know. It seems kind of weird to say after like his past two performances, but I'm not like fully sold on like the Pats being really like super good like constantly week in and week out. I think it's just helped by the fact that Tom Brady used to be there. So
it's still real early too. I think once the hits start kind of rolling up and packing up on Cam, we're going to see his inaccuracies come right back.
Yep.
And
it hinges on his shoulder, and I definitely wouldn't put them in the same tier of teams as like the Chiefs and the Ravens. I don't think they're in that tier yet, but they're still looking strong.
Okay, so next game is I think probably my scariest game, probably like the toughest game to really predict this whole week. It's Buffalo at home against the Los Angeles Rams. Cross-country visit for the Rams. I mean, I'm very high on Josh Allen, obviously, but this Rams defense, it's very good. It's shown they're able to apply pressure to the quarterback. They've looked pretty dominant. Their secondary is solid. Lots of pick grabbers. I think the Rams are going to win this, and I'll take them plus 2.5. I just think things can't be this good for this long. I don't have anything else to say. It's just
I think it's pretty easily the Rams. I don't think the Bills are going to have enough firepower on offense to keep up with them. I think it's just too.
I mean, Buffalo's defense is pretty good.
Pretty good, but I don't think their offense is that great at all.
They'll have to hinge a lot on big plays in order for them to win, which like can happen. But I just don't like it against the Rams offense.
We don't really know what their quarterback, the Bills quarterback, can really do. He's played against the Jets and he's played against Miami, so it's not like he's playing world beaters right now.
I mean, last season he went to the playoffs.
I mean, that's
pretty well there.
He's going to play. I mean, his defense carried him, correct?
Right.
Not really.
So I think he's going to be matching up against him much better this week. So we'll see. I have a feeling he's going to fall flat like always. So
always. What about last week? Huh?
Well, against a good team. How many playoff games did he win?
He's only been to the playoffs once. It's his third year.
How many games did he win?
He won 0.
There you go. Nicholas?
Okay. I mean, how many games has Matt Ryan won? Or how many games did Matt Ryan win in the playoffs for like his first 5 or 6 years?
more than Josh Allen.
Nope. Never beat the Giants, Cardinals. I think it took him until like 2012 or 2013 to get his first win. And then it was only one game. If you want to get into this debate with me, like you can, but you're probably going to lose. It was a second-year quarterback facing the New England Patriots in the playoffs at Gillette Stadium.
Patriots aren't even that good, or weren't that good last year.
It was at Gillette Stadium, but okay. Nicholas, go.
Yeah, I'm taking the Rams to win and to cover at 2.5. Josh Allen had a great performance, 4 touchdowns, over 400 yards, just fantastic. He played very well. I agree with Riley. Their 2-0 record might be inflated as they've played against relative chumps.
I mean, yeah, they'll get to play against them all year because they're in their division.
The Rams, they have a win against the Cowboys and the Eagles, and as it seems to be, the Eagles are in free fall right now. So who knows if that's actually a good win or not? But again,
who knows if the Cowboys are even a good win? Their defense is trash, and like the Falcons were doing pretty well before Takk McKinley got injured, and like
we'll see. Regardless, both teams are 2-0.
Playing prevent defense, so
both teams are 2-0. But yeah, I'm gonna take the Rams because ultimately Josh Allen has yet to finish a season where he throws for over 60% completion.
You know what? I'm flipping.
It's very concerning that he can't finish a season completing at least 60% of his passes. It really does raise concern. But he is on pace
and
to
he had
shatter
John
that. He's
Brown
thrown
as
for
his
over
12-point receiver.
70%
I'm flipping
completion
to the Bills.
So
I'm flipping
it's
to the
looking good
Bills.
for him.
Bills are gonna win this.
No, they're not. But
yes, they are.
This kid
Buffalo
is a bigger
minus
fan of the
2.5.
Bills than he is the Falcons.
Hammer it. I'll bet one of you guys.
Is that going to be your guarantee this week? Is the Bills?
Yep, that's going to be my guarantee.
All right.
Already calling it. If either of you want to bet like $5 or $10 on it,
I'm not betting.
You literally just picked the Rams 2 minutes ago. Now you're willing to bet on the Bills.
Remember, he's a true Bills fan at heart. His homerism is coming out right now. So.
I mean, I am now a Bills fan until further notice. So, let's see. Next game, the injury-riddled San Francisco 49ers taking on the New York Giants. The line has dropped from 49ers favored by 6.5 to 4. I think that obviously has to do with the injuries. It does not look good for the 49ers because they're having to play on the same. Have you guys heard about the turf?
Yeah, it's trash at MetLife. It's awful.
Yeah, I think it's like sticky. That's what the players were saying. So I don't know if it's just because it's been so dry out in California that now that they're like in New York, it's a little bit different. But there's something weird going on. I still like the fact that I actually like the fact that the line moved a little bit because the 49ers, even with a depleted roster, I still think that they'll handily win this. The Giants haven't looked very good. They look like fighters, but they haven't looked very good in fighting. Yeah, I'm taking 49ers -4.
Yeah, I'm going to do the same. Nick Mullins is going to be fine. I think he's a serviceable backup. I think especially when you're playing against a team like the Giants, it's not going to really matter too much who's behind the gun as long as you can just play your game. I mean, they're just going to be able to pound the ball all they want and then move it at will. It's not like we talk about the injuries on the 49ers side. I mean, the Giants lost, quote unquote, their best playmaker in Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
So it kind of evens out, but Barkley kind of sucked this year already, but we'll see. I think that the Niners are going to still win this one by 2 scores.
I'm seeing who their running backs are going to be. It's Jerick McKinnon and Jeffrey Wilson, which Kyle Shanahan's still going to be able to get however much he can out of those guys. I mean, they have no problems with their offensive line. Their offensive line is still completely healthy. It's just all of their defensive linemen that's what got wrecked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm taking Niners to win this and to cover. I mean, yeah, Giants are a pretty rough team right now, but Niners have definitely been riddled by injuries. You know, you got Bosa out, and like Kirby mentioned, Mostert and Coleman both out. But I think Shanahan can mask a lot of those deficiencies. You know, he's going to get Wilson and McKinnon both involved pretty early, I imagine. Uh, it is interesting that Giants got walking injury report. Devonta Freeman, you know, got to give a nod to him. Uh, he's a fighter. Freeman really is a fighter. You love seeing him play. He's just different when the ball is in his hands. But ultimately, I'm picking the Niners to win and cover.
When he's not hurt as well, he's going to get concussed again more than
Yeah.
likely if he
Of
runs.
course.
His play style is horrible.
He'll run like one play and then just get concussed. Okay, so next game. This is kind of an interesting line. It's Washington at Cleveland. Cleveland is favored by a whole touchdown and extra point. 7 points. I think I at least like Washington to cover the spread but not win. I mean, Cleveland they haven't looked good really. They had like a tight game against the Bengals a little bit. That whole the 7 point spread that just seems absolutely ludicrous. Because Washington can still put up points. It's not like they've lost a lot of guys due to injury, if any. So I'm not really sure what the odds makers are seeing here that I'm not. I think this is an easy Washington +7, but I think they're still going to lose. Just Cleveland can't pull away.
Yeah, I'm going to roll there right with you. I mean, you look at this defensive line from Redskins, it's one of the best, if not the best line in football currently. There's just so many rushers that it's just going to keep it kind of a more low-scoring game than what they had with the Bengals. Baker Mayfield, bum. Carson Wentz is also a new bump we've got out this year. Well, I guess it's been in the past couple of years, but there's just a bunch of bums at quarterback right now, and I don't think they're going to put up a whole lot of points. It's going to be low scoring, but the Browns will just squeak it out there at the end.
All right, I don't know why, but I'm going to call it. This is going to be one of those games where the Browns are going to brown, and they're just going to shit their pants. I'm going to take the Washington football team. Almost called them redacted, caught myself. I'm going to take the Washington football team to win and cover. I don't know how. I just got a hunch they're going to pull it off.
I mean, it's not wild to say. It's just I don't know. I think Cleveland still has a good enough running attack where they can kind of offset the defensive line, the young defensive line especially that Washington
Chubb and Hunt
has.
is lethal. It's good.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the Browns defense doesn't have like too many playmakers. It could so whenever like Dwayne Haskins steps back to pass, like I'm not gonna live in fear of him throwing an interception. So, but yeah, we've covered that. Let's see. Next game: Cincinnati versus Philadelphia. Philly is favored by 5.5. Which one of you?
Philly and first two. There were 5.
Cincinnati.
And the Philly's the favorite by 5.5.
Yes, 5.5. Yeah.
So easily the Bengals. I'm going to take the Bengals to cover. But I want them to win. I think they'll probably end up losing a close one, but they're definitely going to cover. I think Joe Burrow, he showed the it factor last week against probably what's, on the back end, at least, with Darius Slay being hurt, I think it'll be a little bit easier going against the Eagles secondary than it is against the Browns. But they'll keep it close for most of the game. I think we're going to see Joe Mixon finally pop off some good runs this week. I think his offensive line play has been pretty poor, so he hasn't been able to produce like he usually does. So I'm expecting it to be a close one, but the Eagles pull it out at the end because we all know Carson Wentz is a bum. He's not very good, and he's not going to put up a ton of points.
Yeah,
Nicholas?
I'll go. I'm taking the Bengals to win and cover. I think Burrow gets his first NFL win finally. I don't think he's ever been 0-3 in anything in his life, so I don't think it's going to happen here. Maybe this loss will get us a good reaction out of EDP. Could be a rough season ahead of the Eagles if they drop this one. But yeah, I'm going to say Joe gets his first NFL win. Bengals to win and cover.
All right. Not so fast for both of you. It's going to be Philly winning by 5.5. Resounding win by Carson Wentz. All the chips are down for this Eagles offense. They've got a ton of injuries. Jalen Reagor's injured now. Alshon Jeffrey still isn't able to play. It's going to be a Deshaun. Wait, is Deshaun injured? No.
It's Deshaun.
Not yet. So, Deshaun, Greg Ward, JJ Arcega-Whiteside, they're going to have fantastic games along with Goddard and Ertz. It's going to be a full-on bloodbath for this Cincinnati team.
Horrible.
Like they don't have the defense to put up with Carson Wentz. Wentz has gotten a lot of hate.
They have Burrow.
Carson Wentz sucks.
All right, I'll take that and say it's time for him to have a good game. It's 3 it's 3 weeks into the season. It's time for him to have a good game. He's going to have a good game because it's time. He's been getting slaughtered in the media. It's the same thing as Kirk Cousins, really. It is. It's time. Like he's going to get bullied into having a good game.
Pre and post ACL tear Carson Wentz are two completely different players, and not for the better.
No. I just think you guys are wrong on this. You guys are buying too far into the Burrow stuff because the team that he has around him still sucks a lot. Next game, I believe we finished the entire 1 o'clock slate, so we're moving into the 4 o'clock slate. We've got this is actually a solid slate. We'll start off with probably one of the shittier games: Jets versus Colts. Colts favored by 11.
Wow. Really?
Large spread. I'm just going to go ahead and take the Colts minus 11. I don't really have much input, but Jets team is bad. I don't think we need to dive deep in if you guys don't have a dissenting opinion.
You said the spread was 11?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take the Jets to cover. Not win, but to cover. I just think, they held the Bills. They lost the Bills by 10, and you say the Bills are a good team, so I think they can hold their own against the Colts, who aren't probably nearly as talented as the Bills are. So, yeah, Jets cover but lose.
Yeah, I'm picking Colts to win, clearly, and to cover. Darnold sucks. They have Social Security recipient Frank Gore taking carries. Yeah, it's going to be the Colts win this one. There's not much to think about.
Yeah. Okay. Next game. This is exciting. Detroit versus Arizona. Arizona is favored by 5.5. I think it's time for I can't see Detroit falling to 0-3, and it's I feel like this team is too their offense is way too good in order to fall to 0-3. Kyler Murray's been setting the world on fire, at least in fantasy. I just feel like Detroit is going to have a a good game, or it could just be like, didn't they tie last year?
They did, yeah.
Yeah. And nothing's really changed for those teams outside of one like big factor for the Cardinals. I can't remember what the Cardinals did.
Who knows?
That was like that big move. Do you guys know?
Who knows?
Yeah, no
Not
set up
sure.
for the receiver.
It was a receiver. Christian Kirk was 2 years ago. Larry Fitzgerald was like 18 years ago. Yeah, I don't know. But
Yeah, nothing's coming to mind right away.
oh well. Yeah, anyways, I'm taking Detroit plus 5.5. Actually to lose. I just negated myself, but yeah, I think it'll at least be tight.
Wait, you said Detroit's. Wait, what was your split? Or let me.
I'm taking Detroit with the spread, but they're going to lose to the Cardinals.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and put the Cardinals winning and covering. I think their offense has been proven to put up a lot of points. I mean, they even beat up on the 49ers a good bit. Kind of going from 49ers to the Redskins, redacted to the Lions.
The what?
Redacted to the Lions. It's kind of like a downward sloping trend. I think they'll be able to put up some points. It won't be too hard going. It's going to be a little bit of a shootout, but nothing too crazy. So I got Cards winning and covering.
Yeah, I got the Cards winning and covering as well, like Riley. Kirby may not be able to see the Lions drop to 0-3, but I sure as hell can because they stink. Kyler's doing pretty well, Their offense is doing well. They have improved defense from last year. Yeah, I just don't see the Lions winning this one. While I am picking the Cards to cover, I could definitely see the Lions pulling out some bullshit out of their ass and keeping it within a touchdown maybe. So it's decently close, but ultimately Cards to win and cover.
I think this might be Stafford's last year in Detroit. I don't know what his contract looks like, but I could see it as Stafford's last year in Detroit. Just do a full rebuild.
Yeah, they can't restart again. Matt Patricia, there's going to be a lot of coaches that are going to get fired this season.
He sucks. He's
like
not a good coach.
lot of in-season firings. Speaking of, we have another coach who might get fired here soon. Los Angeles Chargers hosting the Carolina Panthers. Chargers are favored by 6.5. Just announced that Justin Herbert will be starting because the Chargers team doctor punctured Tyrod Taylor's lung. Very, very weird story. But, I mean, I think even with all the news surrounding like the Chargers organization, I still think they're going to easily win this one because I don't know what that the Carolina offense might be better without McCaffrey because they're not going to have to be as reliant on him. And I could see like DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson having a big game with Teddy Bridgewater, and it's going to force Joe Brady to get pretty creative and not just force feed the ball to Christian McCaffrey. And that's whenever you see Joe Brady at its best, whenever he has to diversify his offense. So I'm actually going to take Carolina plus 6.5 and a win.
Interesting. Nicholas, you want to go next?
Yeah, I'll go. I don't see how losing McCaffrey could potentially be more beneficial. I don't quite agree with that. Maybe creative, sure, but I don't know if that's a good creative you want to go in, not having McCaffrey. Herbert, he looked pretty good against the Chiefs. He had a couple of stupid rookie mistakes, but it's to be expected for someone playing their first NFL game. I'm not ready to anoint him yet, like a lot of people are, but he did look solid. So I'm going to take the Chargers to win and to cover, and the Panthers are going to drop to what, 0-3? Will that put them at 0-3? Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to pick the Chargers to win this one.
You said the Chargers were favored by 5.5?
Yeah, 6.5. 6.5.
So Yeah, I'm going to have the Chargers winning, but the Panthers covering. I think, this kind of goes back to the Jets, how inept the Jets are. The Panthers have taken Anderson and actually made him into what seems to be a top 10 receiver in the NFL right now. It's kind
Maybe
of
not
crazy.
top 10.
I mean, he's like top 5 in receiving yards right now.
Well, yeah, it's because they're constantly down. It's the case of
He's not been terrible.
you're not the prettiest girl at the bar. You're just the only girl at the bar. So,
I mean, all he has to do is just sling it to his side and do little wide receiver screens, and then once he gets the ball in his hands, he's a monster with it. So I
yeah,
think the offense is a little bit better than what I was thinking coming into the season, but their defense still kind of sucks. So I want to go ahead and roll with the Chargers winning, but the Panthers covering.
I could see there being a lot of apprehension around the Chargers' whole organization. Anthony Lynn's probably feeling it right now, just like the heat on his seat just coming up even more. Next game,
As he should.
His
yeah,
quote unquote his starting quarterback got hurt from a damn doctor this season. He's gonna have an excuse why he didn't perform as well as he was supposed to.
I mean, still, yeah. Next game is Tampa Bay favored by 6 as a road favorite against Denver. Denver is going to be starting Jeff Driscoll, not Blake Bortles just yet. That'll come soon. I think I obviously like Tampa Bay in this game, and the main reason why is there's a lot of concerns about Brady's arm, same way that there are with Breeze's arm. They're going to be up in high altitude, which means the ball carries like a lot more. Arm power will not matter as much for Tom Brady, and that's why they're going to be able to get that offense rolling, and this Denver team is just decimated with injuries right now. So I like Tampa Bay to win this pretty handily, at least by a touchdown.
How Peyton Manning extended his career by going to Denver
Exactly.
and using that air to his benefit. But yeah, I don't think it's going to be that close. I think that there's no chance in hell that the Broncos are going to be able to win this game. I think it's going to be kind of nearly a blowout. I think 2 to 3 scores is probably what you're going to be looking at here. Not really a whole lot to talk about just because this Denver team just kind of, sucks. So, yeah.
Yeah. Nicholas?
Yeah, give me a pretty boring take, but give me the Bucks to win and to cover. I mean, Denver, they're in a kind of a tough situation right now. So this should be an easy win. I don't want to say easy, but as close as you're going to get to an easy win for the Bucks.
Okay, all right. Now we have a stretch of 3 straight very entertaining games. We have most likely America's game of the week, because why wouldn't it be? It is the Dallas Cowboys traveling to CenturyLink Field, I think, to play Seattle.
Yep.
Is it CenturyLink?
Yep, it's in Seattle.
Yeah. Seattle is favored by 5. A battle of 2 really bad defenses. I feel like you can look at how the Patriots played Seattle and how the Falcons played Seattle, and you can see like it doesn't take much to score on that defense. Doesn't take much to score on Dallas's defense. In which case, I'm going to take Seattle to win by 5. Just because Russell Wilson is too damn good, and the Cowboys caught the golden horseshoe last week, and they're going to give it back up to Seattle.
Yeah, I'm going to probably pretty handily have the Hawks win this game. I think the Falcons gifted the Cowboys a win. It's not Dan Quinn's fault. It was the team's fault. Dan Quinn did all he could do. He coached his ass off that game, but the Cowboys stole it. But the Seahawks are just a much better team defensively. They have a lot more talent. And offensively, they might be one of the best teams, if not the best offensive team through the first 2 weeks. I mean, I guess it's not technically saying much that they did it to us, but it is what it is. Hawks going to win it and cover.
Yeah, give me Seattle to win and cover. I'm not betting against Russell Wilson right now. I think this is another 4 touchdown performance minimum out of him. He's balling out. He's at another level right now. Uh, Dallas, they had a game last Sunday. They definitely had a game. But yeah, I don't see Wilson losing this at all. Seattle to win and to cover.
All right, next game is a Sunday night game. Green Bay facing New Orleans. New Orleans is it opened at 6.5. It's now down to 3. I figured that it opened on Sunday, and then everybody watched Drew Brees on Monday night and thought, "Oh wow, this is bad for the Saints." I
Yeah.
don't know if I feel like Michael Thomas's presence is very crucial because he's probably one of the best, if not the best, route runners in the league, which means they can get open very easily. But they would at least have a match. Green Bay would have a match with Jair Alexander, who's not shabby himself. I think Green Bay's. I'm just gonna take the easy pick and roll with how the line's moving and take Green Bay +3 and a win. I was a little bit tempted to go New Orleans -3 since they're at home, but home doesn't really matter whatsoever. You saw that against the Raiders, so I think it's Green Bay -3
Is it? I think it's Green Bay -3 or Green Bay
or Green Bay +3. My bad.
Yeah, not much to talk about again. The Saints team, this offense without Michael Thomas isn't anything special. We kind of saw that. Drew Brees he really won't throw it past 10 yards down the line of what? Yeah, I don't know. There was a stretch of 18 straight passes to running backs or something like crazy like that,
That was
or he
bad.
within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. He's not. I mean, you can tell he's aging a little bit. So I think the Packers are going to try and emulate what the Raiders did defensively and kind of just make him do a lot of short stuff. And then Rodgers, he's going to do what Rodgers does and just kind of dominate and take over. So I got the Packers winning this one.
Yep, I'm feeling the same. I'm actually very surprised that the Saints are even favored, let alone at just -3. I really think the Packers are going to roll in there and whoop them. Yeah, Green Bay to win and to cover.
I feel
Not
like
much to talk about this
I feel
one.
like this should have been a straight up pick'em game, to be honest. I I don't know why the line opened so heavy. That such a weird
No clue.
line. But yeah, I was thinking a little bit about the Saints just from the standpoint that New Orleans, like Drew Brees, he would be able to quell the haters. But you can't beat Father Time. So with that being said, next game of the week, possibly game of the year or game of the decade, depending on how you want to view it. Kansas City traveling to Baltimore. Baltimore is favored by 3.5 on Monday night. So my thinking on this game is you always have one team. It was the Chiefs last year. You have one team that gets a really big win at the start of the season, and it's in this type of game where everybody's watching on either Sunday or Monday night. And then they start to roll and they go 13-3 to end the season. I think this is a clear Baltimore pick. I think Baltimore will win this. They're going to win the battle, but not the war, because I still think Kansas City is the team to beat in the AFC, and Baltimore is going to be riding high on this win all season. But this feels like it's kind of like whenever a team beats the Patriots, used to beat the Patriots earlier in the season, and then they would never beat the Patriots after that, like in the playoffs. I think this is a very clear case of a regular season champion in the Baltimore Ravens.
You want to go ahead, Nicholas?
Yeah, I'll go. Yeah, I'm not betting against Patrick Mahomes. I'm picking the Chiefs to win and to cover. I think this is going to be a really good game. You know, you got two top tier quarterbacks. You have the two best kickers in the league going at it. I think
Yeah,
if I had to give an edge to the defense, I'm going to roll with the Ravens. But again, this is Pat Mahomes we're talking about. Um, he hasn't had any like completely, super stellar games so far. Nothing like his 2018 campaign. But he's definitely had some insane throws. He had a wild throw, uh, the Tyreek Hill against the Chargers for a touchdown. So he's still got it. He's still worth every penny of the $500 million contract. And I'm not going to bet against him. I'm picking the Chiefs to win and to cover.
You bet against him last week, you would have won. So
Yeah, I'm going to roll with the Ravens this week. I think I don't wholeheartedly agree with Kirby, but I can definitely see where the Ravens are going to take this one seriously, just because they want some recognition after they got bumped out of the playoffs. They want to be able to beat up on a really good team and just kind of hang their hats on that one. But yeah, there's not a whole lot for me to talk about. I know it's going to be a really, really good game. It's just going to be kind of a shootout. I think the Ravens will probably have the ball last. They're going to score a late touchdown to put them up enough to secure the win. I think that it's going to be just a great QB battle. But Patrick Mahomes, we kind of saw last week, he wasn't that great. We're going to see kind of another little bit of that this week because the Ravens defense is just as good, if not better, than the Chargers defense. So that's what I'm rolling with.
I don't think this is going to be like a shootout. The over under is 53.5, and I think I would take the under. I feel like it's going to be a 24-20 type game, like, or 17-24 type game, because both defenses are still really good. It's going to feel more like a playoff game where the stakes are completely raised. And that's going to raise like the defense's competitiveness. I don't think, like, it's not going to be like the chart. What was it like 2 or 3 seasons ago, like the Rams Chiefs, where it was like 40.
That was that Monday night game in
Yeah.
Mexico.
I don't, well, I guess Mexico played a factor in it, but I don't think this is going to be a case of like a 45-38 type game. This is going to, it might give off a little bit of a mid 2000s Ravens Steelers type vibe, honestly, because both of those teams still had like pretty good offenses. They just could never get anything going because their defenses were so good. And I think this is going to be a case because like Kansas City can contain Lamar Jackson a little bit, and Baltimore, their secondary is good enough to where they can contain Mahomes a little bit. So, and all the weapons that are around there. So I mean, I'll just go ahead and say that I will take the under of 53.5 just as like a little side bet.
No prop bet. All right.
Yeah.
So all we have left is guarantees. Kirby guaranteed.
I already
Bills.
guaranteed the Buffalo Bills -2.5 against the Rams.
Okay. So let's go through who we've already used. Who'd you guys use week 1 and 2? Then you do your week 3 pick.
I guaranteed the Steelers against the Giants, and then I guaranteed the Cowboys against the Falcons.
That was a very close guarantee, Nicholas. Very close.
Okay.
It worked.
Kirby?
I honestly can't remember who I guaranteed last week. I need to find that damn sheet, but yeah, I know I'm at least 0-1.
Yeah, you missed the first one. Okay. I guaranteed the Niners last week, and then week 1, I guaranteed the Raiders. So this week, I am going to guarantee, let's see here. I haven't looked over this too much. Haven't developed my guarantee just yet. I'm going to go ahead and guarantee the Colts against the Jets yet
That's
again.
who I was going to pick.
That's a good guarantee.
I'm going to guarantee Give me Seattle. I'll guarantee Seattle this week.
Really?
Hmm
I don't know. Okay, so you're 1-0, Nicholas. Riley, you're 2-0 on guarantees, right?
Yep. About to be
Okay.
3-0.
All right.
No,
and
I'm
I'll try
2-0.
to
I
find
guaranteed.
what
I guaranteed the Steelers.
He did.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're 2-0. Yeah.
You might be 0-2, Kirby. You might be securely in last place.
Yeah. I'm not. My guarantees they're not working out as well as I thought they would go. I'm going a little bit too much with my heart, but I just know I haven't guaranteed the Bills yet, so I'm gonna do it this week.
Can do it this week. All right, that works.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for carving out the extra 3 minutes of time, Nicholas. Very kind of you.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Weird.
Okay.
No problem,
All right.
bro.
See you guys. Thanks
Talk
for
to you guys later.